This is the Young brand bike rack, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to assemble and load your e-bikes. Here it is assembled. What I like is the vertical posts that fasten securely to the seat posts, and it can hold two e-bikes like these up to 100 pounds each. It comes packed in one box, which is fairly heavy, but everything is well protected with cardboard. Here it is all unpacked. There's really not that many pieces, and it's really well built and heavy. Notice the foam board I'm using. This is a great tip if you don't know about this. The foam board comes in various thicknesses. This one is 1.5 inches thick, and it's great for assembling anything that you don't want to scratch. And an extra benefit is it's a good cushion when you're on your knees assembling things, so it doesn't hurt so much. So do yourself a favor, remove all the hardware from the bags and keep everything in separate piles. It's good to refer to the instruction manual. Make sure you're using the right bolt and washer as you assemble everything. So first, assemble the 2-inch receiver to the main frame of the rack. It's only one bolt and a hitch pin, and this assembly will pivot once it's installed. You can either use a 24 millimeter or 15/16 socket or wrench. I try and stay away from using an adjustable wrench. Now assemble the wheel cage to the platform with 4 bolts. I decided to use my impact gun to put them in quickly, but you can use wrenches or sockets just as easy. You can tighten these bolts with either a 16 millimeter or a 5/8 socket or wrench. So far, so good. So repeat this step for the other platform. They are identical parts, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. For now, I'm only barely tightening all the bolts because I'm going to tighten all of them later again. Assemble the platform to the main frame with 2 nuts for each platform using either a 13 mil or a 12 half-inch socket, half-inch socket. The bolts are pre-assembled in the slots of the platform. I found it much easier to assemble it upside down instead of the way the instructions showed it. The nuts are lock nuts with nylon on one side, so there's no need for lock washers. Once you mount the rack on the vehicle, you'll want to loosen these nuts a little and slide the platforms so the bikes will be centered behind the vehicle. So the last big step is to bolt on the 2 vertical posts. Make sure the posts rotate in the right direction. Follow the instructions for the way to put the 3 washers in place. There's 2 plastic washers that are used as friction and a steel washer with slots in it. Tighten the bolt for each post firmly with an 18 millimeter socket. For this size, there isn't a comparable American socket. I'll finish tightening them later after I mount the rack on the vehicle. So next I want to put the rack on the hitch before I tighten everything up. It's pretty easy to carry when it's tilted in the up position. The hitch bolt is threaded and it screws through the 2-inch receiver using a 15/16 socket or a 24 millimeter socket. You'll need a socket wrench to install and remove. So if you're traveling, don't forget it. So let's lower the rack and see how it works. Pull the pin out, lower it down, put the pin back in. This view shows the adjustment bolt that turns in and out so the pivot pin is perfectly aligned with the hitch hole. The vertical posts are designed to be snug when lifting them, and they stay wherever you put them. So now it's time to try it out. It turned out to be very easy to push the bike up onto the rack, and the rack on this pickup is about as high as you'd ever use. On our SUV, the rack is a lot lower to the ground, which makes the ramp much less tilted. The ramp comes off easy and stores right on the rack. We decided not to do that because it rattles quite a bit, and it's easy to just store it inside the pickup truck or the SUV. as long as you don't forget it. I should have had the platform stop well in front of the rear tire while putting the bike on the rack. The idea is to slide the platform stop back against the bike tire after it's in its final location on the rack, then lock down the platform stop. So here's the second bike going on. It's very easy to push the bike up the ramp. You do need to make sure the tires are in a straight line with the ramp, but again, nothing too difficult. You can see that the rubber stop is well forward of the rear tire. Once the bike's in its final position, you can slide the stop back against the tire and lock it down. And after you set up the stops once, you won't have to do it again unless you change bikes. The strap lock works in only one direction, with the round hole facing away from the end of the strap. So here's a better picture of the strap, how it locks the tire in place very nicely. You just pull that and it secures it. The overall picture looks great. Both bikes are ready to go, nice and solid. And now I'm going to zoom in and show you the vertical post and the clamp that holds on to the seat post. With this vertical clamp, it's very solid. So thanks for watching today, and I hope this helps you out, and we'll see you next time.